Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in to a video that is going to be about some underrated drugstore products, just real gems of products sitting in the drugstore. Some of them are kind of new, some of them have been there for a while and they just don't get the love they deserve. So I'm blowing their cover, telling you all about them. Let's go ahead and dive in. First, starting with the product that actually inspired this video, because I just did a review on these. They're the Almay Velvet Foil Cream Shadows. And in general, and I mentioned this in that video, Almay is a brand that I feel like you just don't hear a lot about, even when they launch new things. I spotted these in the What's New section at Ulta, always gets me into trouble, but I hadn't heard much about them otherwise, so I gave them a try and I really like them. And they're kind of unexpected from Almay. They're more colorful, have a strong texture, like a metallic finish. It's not your average matte or satin that you might expect from the brand. Really like them, and they're unsung heroes that you just don't hear a lot about. So go check that video out if you're interested, but know that these are some really great cream shadows from the drugstore. Next up is an eye primer that doesn't get talked about a whole lot either, and it's been out for a while. I thought it, and I've mentioned it before here on the channel, and I thought it might pick up some traction after more people had experience with it, but I still just don't hear a lot about it. So it's the CoverGirl Lid Lockup Eye Primer. They sent me my first one, this one that I am darn near out of, so I went ahead and repurchased another one, and it's just a fantastic eye primer. It provides a really nice sticky base. Eventually it does dry down to more of a powdery finish, but I would say it has a longer dry time than a lot of other primers out there. But as a result, I find that it just holds products so well, and especially loose pigments or powders or glitters, because it has that tackiness for an extended period of time. So really like this, and think it competes with some of the higher end primers out there, but doesn't seem to be getting quite as much love. Oh, one more thing that I want to mention before I move on from this primer is that because it takes a little bit longer to dry and it is so tacky, I have noticed that, you know, sometimes if I don't wait for it to completely dry and I'm working with a traditional pressed shadow, specifically a matte shadow, sometimes that will make a perfectly good shadow kind of skip as it applies. So if you're finding that happens to you, I would just wait a little bit longer until it has time to set a little bit more, and then you'll be good to go. But just know that that is some kind of a learning curve I had to experience with this, is just to be aware of that dry time and maybe wait a little bit if you're noticing some skipping. Next up are lashes, specifically magnetic lashes, which I know might be very polarizing for some. For those of you that have tried it and it was an absolute fail for you, you might be rolling your eyes right now, but hear me out. I have a couple videos out about the specific style from Ardell. It's their magnetic accent lash, and accent lashes are they're a different ball game than a full strip lash when it comes to magnetic lashes, well, and just in general lashes. I find accent lashes are so much easier to apply, but specifically with magnetic lashes. And what I love about magnetic lashes over a traditional lash is that if you mess up, because I mess up almost every time I apply my lashes, you don't have to worry about that lash glue residue on your lash line just building up with each try that you have, and then it ruins your eye look, and or you get lash glue on your lashes, and it just like adds a little bit of mess to your makeup routine if you still haven't mastered the art of applying false lashes. And so with these, gives you a little bit of wiggle room to place and replace them and get things right without dealing with the mess of lash glue. And even if you are a lash pro, at the end of the day, you're still dealing with that strip of glue on your upper lash line. And even on days when I do a decent job at applying traditional strip lashes, I'm still having to like work to get it off. And you always know you didn't remove it when the next day's makeup is like clinging to those eyelash glue spots, which is so stinking annoying. So I just prefer to sidestep all of that with these, and I promise you I have a video talking about how I like to apply them, tips to make it easier to apply them, because I know it's not always straightforward, but once you get the hang of it, guys, I promise you, you will not go back. I love these. In fact, I bought at the last Sephora 20% off sale, I bought like 5 pairs of them because I never wanted to be without. Next up is the product that comes from a brand that just in general doesn't get a lot of love, I don't think anyway. It's Collab, and they are exclusive to Sally Beauty, and I believe were created in there's a whole brand created in collaboration with influencers. The specific product that I want to talk about today is the eyeliner. It's the Killer Kohl Self-Sharpening Eyeliner, and what I love about this is that it's an exact dupe for something that Smashbox has. It's an automatically sharpening, it's their always sharp waterproof kohl liner. The shade that I have from Collab is Knockout, which is a brown, and this is just one I pull. I have a couple shades from Smashbox, but this just happened to be the one that I had sitting around. It's in black and it's in the shade Raven. identical packaging. And what I like about this packaging is, I mean, as the name suggests, it's always sharp. So there's a sharpener in the lid here so that every time you twist your lid closed, it automatically just shaves that top layer of product off to keep your liner perpetually sharp, which for me, I pretty much exclusively use liner on my lower or on my waterline. So I like something nice and precise. It's soft enough to where it doesn't feel harsh on your lower lash line, but it's hard enough to where if you did want to use it on your upper lash line to create maybe a more precise wing, you could totally do it with this too. In fact, I find this is much easier to work with if you're doing a wing because it keeps that sharp tip. You know, you can be a little bit more, like really get a nice edge on that wing out there. But they do it for, you know, a fraction of the Smashbox price. I do notice a slight difference in formula. The Smashbox is a little bit creamier than the Collab, but for the most part, they function identically. So be sure and check the collab out if you know, this functionality is something that interests you. My last pick is one where if you've been here with me on the channel for a minute, you're probably sick of hearing about, but if you're talking about underrated drugstore products, you can't not include these because these, in my opinion, are one of the best kept secrets from the drugstore. They are Presson Nails. I don't wear any nail polish, haven't worn polish in years, maybe, at least on my fingers anyway. And it's because I love Presson Nails. These are some that they are like more traditional. You have to use glue to apply them. They're from Kiss and they're in the style, what style are they in? Whatever, a nice burgundy matte stiletto manicure. Love them. However, my absolute favorites, like if I had to choose between the two, I will always go for those with adhesive pre-applied to the back because they're so easy to just peel the backing off, stick them on, and then you're good to go. Now I have a few videos on the channel going super in-depth with press-ons, how I apply them, how I remove them, tips to getting them to last longer, answering your questions, etc. I will link them all, either click the I here or in the description bar below. So I'll just touch on a couple of my favorite brands and styles. So my brands are Impress, love these guys. And they're also under Kiss. And then there is Dashing Diva. Now Dashing Diva is, they just started selling them in Ulta, but previously I think they were exclusive if you're looking in store to Sally Beauty. But now they sell them online at Ulta anyway. And they have, I think they've really increased their variety of styles. Both brands, Impress and Dashing Diva, have a ton of different styles to choose from. And I think since I first started wearing these kinds of nails, specifically Impress were the first I tried like literally 6 or 7 years ago, they've gotten a lot thinner. Like these are not what you might expect from a press-on, what you might have been used to from press-ons back in the day. They just look and feel like, you know, your real nail, or, you know, no different than if you had gotten your nails done with like a gel or a shellac or a dip powder kind of situation. They feel identical to that, but they're so much faster and cheaper than getting your nails done. And you don't have to worry about chipping because nail polish just does not stay on me. So, and you can do nail art like glitters, and some of these have rhinestones and fun metallic gold designs. Like there's nothing a good press-on can't do. And that's the truth, which is why I love them. So I feel like I've talked them to death, but I'll stop talking about them when I stop loving them. So yeah, those are the 5 products that I feel are so underrated from the drugstore. Like you get such a bang for your buck and they just aren't talked about here on YouTube. So I think they're the best kept secret from the drugstore. Let me know if you feel the same down in the comments below. Besides that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.